Hello, it's a beautiful morning. It's just the last couple seconds of twilight, civil twilight, and I'm just going to continue from my previous twilight post talking about Macbeth because the more research I've done, my take on Macbeth is radically different than others. So um, I'd like to go into more detail on it, and I'm going to start with a powerful speech um, by Viola Davis. She recently accepted an award, and January 17th, brilliant speech. But she always does incredible speeches, incredible artist. And she said that she had heard a quote that she really liked was the definition of hell is that on your last day on earth, the person you become meets the person you could have become. Viola Davis then emphasizes that there is no becoming unless you face the darkness of your own soul, and there's no becoming without healing. So, to illustrate this, I'm going to take literature's darkest figure, darkest character, Macbeth, and I think there's a good, if you've seen Macbeth, great. If you haven't seen it, always go see it again. I think if you haven't seen it, go see it. But if you have seen it, see it again because unless you're well, you probably are smarter than I am. But with Shakespeare, I find it very difficult. And the more I watch it, or read it, and I get different takes and new insights happen. So I mean, like I've said before, we're multitudes. So sometimes it takes time to learn things, and sometimes it takes a different perspective to penetrate the text. Or at least that's what I find. Um, so, and I guess what I wanted to add to Victoria Davis's speech is that it is never too late um, to heal or be redeemed. And I'm going to illustrate this with Macbeth, as the Scottish king who's fallen into the abysmal depths of human slaughter just to maintain his power. These kind of paranoid delusions of and harming others, and really his selfish ambition and hubris is really his downfall. Um, he he visits these witches. I'm not going to tell the whole story. I don't want to spoil it, but that doesn't really spoil it because Shakespeare is so complicated. But he visits three witches, gets three prophecies. But one of the key prophecies is he realizes to beware of Macduff and that he cannot be killed by any man born of a woman. So he believes that means he's invincible. And then but he's still, I guess he's still, because he's maintaining power, he's got this paranoid delusions and hubris that he vanquishes any kind of seeming enemy. So he kills a guest in his home. He kills his best friend. Then, because he was warned about Macduff, he killed Macduff's wife and children. So when I say he's the darkest character in literature, he's definitely one of them. I mean, obviously there's stories of Cain and Abel, and I'm sure we can think of many dark figures, but this is a particularly dark figure. And so what does Shakespeare do? Does Shakespeare allow this character in this tragedy to descend into nihilism and chaos, or does he redeem him? Now, my reading is he's redeemed. And but I'm alone on this. It turns out that most people believe. Um, I mean, most people believe at this point in time. Doesn't mean it's forever, right? So, because the way literature and analysts analyzing literature is, it depends on different people's voices, and their new consensus can emerge. I find that the idea that interpreting his tomorrow speech as pure nihilism is not correct. Yeah, he's Macbeth learns that his wife took her own life, and he's in the pits of grief, right? And he talks about, you know, kind of almost his own idiocy in the sense of this of marching soldiers to their death, that him strutting upon the stage, and I think that realization in his loss is one of the beginnings of how he transcends, or and so when he faces Macduff in this kind of um, in the final act, he doesn't want to fight Macduff. Um, he knows that he needs to beware of Macduff. He asks Macduff, "Have you been born of a woman?" And Macduff says, "Well, no. I mean, it was like a C-section, and he was removed from his mother's womb prematurely." And in that Elizabethan era, that's not a woman born, and therefore this is his moment. I mean, his moment of his demise, and he embraces it. He doesn't fight it. He doesn't go kamikaze and try to take out Macduff, or take everyone out, including himself. I mean, he doesn't just hide away from Macduff, or hide in the tower, or he doesn't behave like a nihilist. And he is slain. His head is removed, which I think is kind of a metaphor for his transcendence, and it ends the war, you know. Um, and so yeah. So what do we take from that? At the moment of deepest loss and darkness, an individual can start to reflect within, and is able to transcend suffering. I mean, and this wasn't his own hubris anymore. It wasn't about him um, becoming a hero. It was, yeah, and I think that's my take on Macbeth. Well, and I guess the message, in a positive affirmation sense, is to never give up, and things can change, and it's never too late. Well, peace, and have a lovely day.